Hello, good people of the internet. This is Jed from Your Guitar Academy. Today we're going to be talking about All Your Love by Magic Sam. Okay, so this is another blues tune. Slightly interesting in some ways. It's got, strangely, a 7-bar intro, and we'll go through that. And then after that, it goes into a blues form, so again, a 12-bar blues. But the chords are mixing up minor and major chords. So the first chord, we're in the key of B minor. So it's a B minor chord. This is when we get into the 12-bar form. Then when we go to the 4 chord, we're using an E9 or an E7. And the 5 chord, again, is another dominant 7 chord. So that's F sharp 7. But first of all, let's look at the intro and then we'll learn the 12-bar form. So for the intro, we've got this riff that goes... And then there's some improvising after that. So, this first part here, we're going to be first pentatonic box shape. The B minor is where we're going to be, so that's the 7th fret. And we're starting by... We're rolling into the 5th, so that's the 9th fret. So what we're doing is we're starting on 8. We're doing a little hammer on into 9, so... So, what is that? 8th fret into 9th, hammering on. Then we're going to pluck the 7th fret on the D string, and then the 9th fret on the D string. And then we're hitting the root note, which is the 7th fret on the low E string. And we're going to hit that twice, that low root note. Another thing to bear in mind is the beginning of this riff is a pickup into the bar. So if I counted it in, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3. So this riff starts on beat 4 of the bar before. 1, 2, 3. So after we've hit this low root note twice, we're going to play these 2 chords. So this first one is the 9th fret, and we're playing the D, the G, and the B string, and I'm doing that with my 3rd finger. So we don't want to pluck that top E string, just those middle 3, like that. And then the same chord, but 2 frets down. So I'm going to do that with my 1st finger on the 7th fret. So the whole thing together should sound like this. Now, sometimes when he plays this first riff, the pickup, that happens. There's some hammer-ons and pull-offs. And when that happens, I'm just hitting the low root note once instead of twice. I think what I do the first time, the very first time there's no hammer-ons or pull-offs between the 7th and 9th fret of the riff. So if I play the whole thing again, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Okay, so the intro, we're going to play the riff 3 times before we go into this improvised section. So we've got... Cool, so when the solo bit starts, harmonically the bass is moving up to the 5 chord. So that would be that kind of 4th time around. So after we've gone for the 3rd time, 4th time we're going to go... So we're plucking this note. Again, it's this minor pentatonic in that key of B, so 7th fret. So we're going to be starting on the 7th fret of the G string, and then we're landing on the 9th fret of the D string, and then we're going back up to the 7th fret on the G string, Now, sometimes I pluck this maybe more than 4 times, it might be 5, but it's around like 4 or 5 times. So if I'm going, it's all depending on how I'm feeling in the moment. So you could choose a number and always go with that every time. So what I'm doing there is, so that was 5 then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I'm doing is bending the G string up. It's a full tone bend. So the beginning of that again from the top is. So after bending the G string up on the 9th fret, hit it 4 or 5 times. 5 feels quite good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to run down the scale. So that's 9th fret on the G string, 7th fret on the G string, 9th fret on the D string, 7th fret on the D string, and then 9th fret on the A string. So from the top of that improvising again, it sounds like this. I'll give that a little count in so you can get a feel for it. So 1, 2, 3. So the next phrase, we're going to be jumping up to the 7th fret on the B string, hitting that twice. Then we're bending the 10th fret on the B string, and then hitting the root note twice on the top E string, so that's the 7th fret. So the next bit, we're going to be doing 10th fret on the E string, 7th fret on the E string, 10th fret on the B, then back to 7th on the top E, back up to 10 on the top E, back down to 7 on the top E string, 10th on the B string, and then we're down to the 7th on the B string, I believe. So going, yeah, down to the 7th on the B string. Then we bend up the 9th fret on the G string, full tone bend. And then we hit the 7th fret on the B again. Then we're going to jump down to the D string. Now, I've heard different recordings of this, and what he does here is going between the 9th and the 7th. You can kind of vary the speed of that, depending on how you feel. So if we play the phrase before. And then we're going to go back into the riff. So if I play the whole thing from the start, it should sound like this. 1, 2, 3. Great. So after we've done the improvised section, or the lead section, we're going to play the riff twice. So right there is where the vocal will come in. So you got all of your love, baby, can it be mine? So this is where the blues form is coming in. So the 12 bar starts here. So we do the intro riff once, and then we're going to change to the 4 chord for the second bar. So then bars 3 and 4, we're playing that riff again. And then bar 5, we're going to go to the 4 chord. And then back to the riff. Up to the 5 chord. Down to the 4. And then back to the riff. So that covers the whole form of the 12 bar. Okay, so here's a little bonus riff. So after the vocals, there's a solo, but he starts with this little phrase that goes. And then the solo begins. So what I'm doing here, I'm hitting the, so again, we're in the exact same spot we were before, minor pentatonic for B minor, so 7th fret, starting with my 3rd finger on the 9th fret of the D string. And I kind of slide into that a little bit, just I like the way it sounds. Then we're gonna do some double stops on the G and the B string. So we go, so that will be on the 7th fret of the G and the B. Then we're going up to the 9th fret on the G and the B. Then we have this. So this is the 11th fret on the G string with your 3rd finger, and then the 10th fret on the B string with your 2nd finger. So far we have this. After that, we're going to go back to the root note on the D string, so 9th fret. Then we hit a double stop on the G and the B again, and that's on the 9th fret. Then the root note again on the D string, and then 7th fret double stop on the G and the B. So all together, that whole riff should sound like this. Now I believe you do that riff 3 times before improvising, so it should sound like this. 1, 2, 3. And then you can go into your solo after that. Thanks very much for tuning into this video. I hope that was interesting and useful for you. Maybe something very slightly different. If you want to check out anything to do with the blues, we've got a blues course. That'll be in the link in the description below. Otherwise, thanks very much and I'll see you next time.